People that use Tinder, got any good/bad hookup stories? NSFW. Edit. Fascinating stories. Edit 2. Always use protections you ding dongs. I totally suck at Tinder. Met a girl for a one night stand. 4 months later, we are getting on a plane to go on holiday together. Fucking amateur. Holiday? Fucking casual. I once ducked a girl from a Cupid. 4 years later we own a house and have cats. Dude, my Cupid date ended up marrying me and is about to have our second kid in 3 weeks. It's awesome. Oh yeah, we've also been married 4 years nearly. Not me but a friend of mine hooked up with the morning weather girl for the local news station thanks to Tinder. Was it hot? Steamy with a chance of showers? Hey, I'm looking to make $40 today. Do you think that's something you could help me with? Apostrophe. UHH. No thanks. I could get you $10 of the way there, if you're willing to part with that dresser. My buddy used it. Found a girl, and they've been dating since around Easter. They have a totally normal relationship, except that we call her Tinder girl. Apostrophe. The proper term is Tinderella. I call them Tindaranes, but I like yours better. Every girl on Tinder just wants me to follow their Instagram. Fucking pointless. Every girl loves to eat, and loves to travel, and loves family and friends, and sometimes she loves good scotch or whiskey. Wow. That is so spot on. I met her up with a girl, so we could watch Frozen together. We actually watched Frozen together. She was disappointed, and I was mesmerized. I'd never seen that shit before. Dude, I'd use Tinder if it was just to watch Disney movies with people. Nostalgia trip. I once swiped yes to a guy for the sole reason he had a picture of himself with Mickey Mouse. He did the same for me because I also had a pic with Mickey. Didn't meet but he seemed cool enough. Got talking to a girl on there. We met up for drinks and it turned out to be the best date I've ever been on. We just talked all night and ended with a kiss. I walked her home and then we texted each other till we both fell asleep. It was like being 16 again or something. The next time I saw her I got a blowjob whilst we watched Titanic. We dated for 2 months or so and she was great, as was the sex. We wanted different things relationship wise, so things didn't last long, but absolutely no regrets on my part. God bless Tinder I say. Looks like the ship wasn't the only thing that went down. It's going down. I'm yelling Tinder! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! I used it. I'm a fat ugly bastard. I matched with a girl who wasn't too shabby looking. Texted for a few days until we were both off. I picked her up. She was very cute. Went to dinner at a Japanese steakhouse and had a good time. Drank some sake. She suggested we go back to my place. Woo. Close bracket. We stopped by her apartment to get her car and she wants to get clothes. She follows me to my house and we make out in my driveway for a few and start to move towards the house. I'm excited. Gonna get laid and all yes it. Been a while. So we are on my front porch and she goes what's that and points to this baseball sized toad that hangs out on my porch. This is his second year at there. Anyways I explain he is cool and I knock Beatles off my porch light for to eat and stuff. She walks over to him, looks at me like intense eye contact and proceeded to slowly stomp on my toad. Now at this point I was experiencing several emotions. Shock, anger, rage. I shouted at her WTF. Why'd you do that? To which she replied I wanted to make you mad so you'd fuck me hard. I was speechless while I processed what I had just witnessed. I told her to get the fuck of my property. She flips out. We yell back and forth. I sprayed her with the hose and she finally leaves, only to show up 20 minutes later topless on my deck in the backyard. She had walked from down the road and pulled like 6 pickets down from my fence to get in the backyard. Cops came. She cried her way out of trouble with them and left. TL. Dr. Fat Ugly Bastard. Solid 8 Tinderella. Night of emoji. Sake. Otfj. She. Stomped my porch toad. Cops come. Girl cries. Gets let off. Edit. OMG. Gold. And yes I miss the toad. I'll update a little later with a funny story about him and a picture. Edit #2 here is porch toad. Link. imga.com/f1 is 1e. JPG. His leg is weird because it accidentally got closed in my door. I nursed him back to health last summer, which is why he was so special to me. Edit #3OMG more gold, you guys are awesome. Thanks. And thanks you all for the kind comments about Toadbra. He had a good life that ended too soon. He will be missed. Poor porch toad. He was all like, hey looky there. The big man's got a hot date. Oh. She's coming this way. Maybe I'll get a pet or a apostrophe. Man. Reading all these stories really makes me wanna try Tinder just for the experience. I got Tinder about a month ago and met with my first live one last week. We had actually been messaging for about a week or two. Pretty different schedules to blame. But we ended up meeting up for a concert, which led to drinks, which led to me inviting him back to my house, which led to sex. The sex lasted ducking forever, and not in a good way. He was one of those drunks who just can't ducking come, and instead of admitting defeat just keeps pounding and pounding. Gentlemen, this is not desirable. Shit hurts after not too long. There is chafing involved. In the end I was just so over it that I rolled over and went to sleep. Sorry, dude. I'm giving him another chance this weekend with hopefully less alcohol, so we'll see. I'll give it a 5/10. Had sex. Didn't die. Willing to try one more time. Had sex. Didn't die. Willing to try it one more time. Sums up entire thread. Finally something I can answer. I've met 6 girls since I downloaded the app in January. Most have been pretty negative, so it never got past conversation. Then I lost weight. I've experienced 2 firsts in my life thus far. 1. I've had sex on a beach at night, complete with sticks poking my ass. 2. Post-orgasm a girl has patted me on the head and said good job. 10/10ths would do again. My friend ducked this stripper with half a shaved head and facial tattoos. She told him that she had been smoking meth all morning and that she had a boyfriend. We later found out that she's also pregnant. My friend said it was the best sex he's ever had in his entire life. I've had Tinder for 16 months and have still yet to get a message. Not even from spam bots. Have you tried sending a message first? Yes. But apparently having a profile pic of myself in a handbra doesn't work. Moved to Seattle for the summer. Used Tinder to meet people. I've made some damn good friends so far. But I don't think that's using Tinder the right way. It was horrible. I installed the app for fun and just to duck around with when I'm bored. Ended up matching with a girl and talked to her for like 2 weeks and exchanged numbers and FB info. She was pretty, seemed really cool, and we shared a lot in common. Eventually she said we should hang out, and I said sure. We met up at a mall and just walked around and talked for about an hour, and I left. After I left, I knew I wasn't going to pursue her. Over text she seemed pretty cool, but in person she was just off. IDK, I can't really explain it. Anyway, within 2 minutes of me getting back in the car, she texted me wanting to know my real opinion on her now. Kinda weird, but whatever, she seems weird, so I just replied saying yeah she's cool and whatever. Big mistake. Over the course of the next 2 hours, I received over 80 texts, about 10 calls, and a couple DMs. All of her crying and saying I need to move in with her and her dad because she's suicidal and I needed to take care of her. I was blunt with her in saying no and this can't go on anymore and to stop contacting me. But nothing changed. I had to delete my FB profile, block her number, etc. I deleted the app after that. TL. Doctor, meta crazy. Delete my FB profile. Why did you have to delete your Facebook profile? Why not just block her? Edit. Okay guys, I get it. She could make a new account. P. After that I deleted my Facebook profile, moved house and sanded off my fingerprints. You can't be too careful. My buddy just told me his story last week. Apparently he had it for a while and got nothing. His first hookup was some really cute girl, showed me pics that were somehow in the sports industry. She got them special access to a game, then they went to a party at somebody's uber expensive apartment, rooftop garden in New York City, in the millions. He got a BJ in the bathroom. He is not the guy to brag, but it was over the top enough that he had to share the story. Do you work for Tinder? Because that actually sounds pretty awesome. I used Tinder just yesterday to hook up with this 10/10ths girl who turned out to be a supermodel. We went to the beach and ran through the waves while the sun set before going back to her penthouse to cuddle naked before having 10 hours of bareback sex. I recently started using Tinder and happened to get pretty damn lucky with the first girl I actually met up with. We met and got ice cream and did some making out and stuff the first time. And again another time. But the third time was quite a different story. She and I met at a bar that I usually go to on Wednesday nights. My friends work there and they have a great special called group therapy. She ended up being pretty drunk that night, which is unusual for her. And we started fooling around after heading to her apartment. At some point she told me that she was pretty inexperienced and wanted a good story if we were going to hook up. Somehow we ended up going to a lake in the middle of campus and found a secluded spot where we ducked for almost 2 hours. Inexperience apparently did little to affect her enthusiasm, and it did end up being a damn good story. Plan on seeing her again tonight equals. Edit. Dunbers. Gotta love that disgusting piece of shit. A great special called group therapy. Dude, that's Alcoholics Anonymous. Well, they are doing it wrong. Started flirting with this one girl. Eventually got her number and she texted me on a daily basis. After 2 weeks of getting to know each other, she asks me to be her date at a Super Bowl party. Sounded fun to me, so I thought why not. She said party was at 5, but she wanted to come over around 3:30, even though it was a 10-minute ride there. Totally figured she wanted to hook up first, so I totally prepared myself for that. She shows up. I invite her in, and I ask how long before we have to leave. She says it already started, so we have to leave now. I thought that was weird, but I got in the car and drove there with blue balls the whole way. It was at a restaurant she worked at, and it was an employees and dates party. When we get there it pretty much hasn't started. Big surprise. We talk for about an hour and get to know each other, but it's painful because she's so shy. It was open bar, but she doesn't drink, so I resisted the temptation. Eventually her coworkers come, and I meet them. She told me one of them was an ex. It didn't really bother me. They seemed like good guys. A little on the scummy side though. They all looked like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. They're all about 22 and have a kid or two and have low income jobs. Eventually they convince her to drink. One sip becomes a whole drink, and one drink becomes 3. She is really drunk, but still being kinda flirty. I didn't drink anything and played it on the safe side because I was driving. The plan was to leave halfway through and go to a house party. So I drive her and her coworkers there. What a horrible idea. We get there and it's one of the shittiest places I've ever seen. There was a 75-year-old man playing Madden instead of watching the Super Bowl. There was kids running around while people were doing various drugs and talking about selling crack along with pregnant women drinking. Little uncomfortable, but duck it. We all play a drinking game and then the girl goes to the bathroom down the hall. About 3 minutes later 2 of the coworkers go down the hall to the porch to smoke. About 10 minutes goes by and her ex gets up to go see if the bathroom's open. He comes back and lays this on me. John. UHH. Jen is getting ducked by both those guys right now. Don't go in the bathroom. I was absolutely stunned. I had no idea what to do. I sat there and just watched the Super Bowl. 5 minutes later she comes out literally pulling her pants up. She completely ignores me and continues playing. 5 minutes go by and she goes to smoke weed with another guy. One guy goes to check and comes back to let me know, yeah, sorry man, she's ducking him now too. The guys at the table start saying how nice a guy I am and that it sucks that I'm her date and she's ducked 3 guys. Then they start getting weird. They start whispering about me and pointing at me. Was entirely sure either was going to get my ass kicked. She comes back, I tell her we're leaving in 5. One guy at the table stops me and says wait! Exclamation mark. She's already ducked him. M, Bill, L, and Mark. K. I figured me and Mike could get a go and you can have her the rest of the night. T. What? T. The. E. Fuck. K. I left immediately with her. R. Unfortunately her car's at my place. E. She kept saying the whole car ride that she hates it when this happens and this is why she doesn't drink. K. Took the long way home because I knew she was drunk. K. She tried to prove she wasn't by slapping herself and then saying I'm not drunk. K. I see the 3 yellow lines in the road. D. I know there's only 2 but that's how I know I'm sober. Tell her to stay for an hour knowing I could prolong it so she can sober up. P. She throws a hiss fit that her phone's dead and her parents are looking for her. R. She says she has to drive home immediately. Y. Get home. E. Say K bye. She apologizes and leaves saying she'll see me soon. N. Never talk to her again. N. She posts on Facebook for 3 weeks about how bad she ducked up, how her coworkers don't take her seriously, and how she has to move because of it. O. TL. Doctor, went on date with girl. Went to a drug house. She ducked 3 dudes and wouldn't look at me. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Exclamation mark. The important part is I now have this fantastic story. Exclamation mark. Well, you win. Yeah, I'd take the retarded girl over this. I met a girl and we met up for drinks. We talked for a while and eventually ended up going to a late lunch. We texted for a couple days and ended up going out again. And she took me back to her place. Easily one of the best times of my life. She's a sweet girl. I hope to see her again soon when our schedule matches up again. We met up for drinks. Eventually ended up going to a late lunch. What time did you start drinking? About 5 past freedom. Edit. First round is on me guys. I'll see you all at first call. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.